Good God. My name is White Citadel, and I have some gameplay here for you of me absolutely raping the other team all game, which is usually what happens in Call of Duty. And also what usually happens in Call of Duty is I lose, because my teammates have to be the worst kids in the game. The worst kids in the game consistently get put on my team. I swear to God, I know you think I'm making this up. I know everyone says this, but I promise you I have the worst kids in Call of Duty consistently get put on my team. And if you want some proof of that, my kill-to-death ratio in this game, I play a lot of team deathmatch, by the way. My kill-to-death ratio is a 2.3, and my win ratio is a 0.85. So, to put it simply, I go 23-10 every single game, and I lose a majority of my games. And that's got to be proof enough right there that my team is just terrible. And I wanted to talk really about the entire Call of Duty community, because I think that the Call of Duty community is the worst collective community out of any video game in history. And not just in terms of kind of annoyance and just being hipsters, in terms of skill too. I mean, Call of Duty is probably the only game ever I can hop on and just guaranteed rape every single game without even trying. And I know that sounds cocky, and let me say a disclaimer, I'm not really good at video games. It's just the fact that this community is absolutely terrible. And if you're someone that's good at Call of Duty, and believe me, I know that you're out there. I know some of you are good at this game. I know a lot of the commentators on YouTube that are popular are really good. If you're someone that's good, I really hope you don't take offense to this. I just think that, I'll say 98% of the people in Call of Duty are absolutely terrible. And about 2% are good. And the good people just rape the 98%. It's kind of like the whole Wall Street, the whole Occupy. Only in this situation, the 99 are the shitty, like mentally challenged kids, and the 1% are the kids that actually know how to play and actually aren't mentally retarded. And I find myself in the 1%. I find some of the friends I play with in the 1%. And I find my teammates always are in the 99%. I mean, I never win Call of Duty. And I always do at least decent. Typically I do really well, but I'll always do decent. I will never, ever go under 500. My worst games ever will be like 15-13. So at least I'm carrying my weight, and I'm giving us a winning edge always. Most of the time, though, for me to even win, I have to have an absolutely insane game. Because like I said, I get put on the worst teams in history. This game, for example, as you see, I still haven't died. I've just been running around. No kill streaks or anything, just running around shredding the other team. And right now we actually have a good lead. There's a possibility we'll win. At this point, we don't end up winning, but it looks like we could at this point. So that's the good news. So I want to know what the consensus is. Is Call of Duty the worst community ever? And I think that it is, and I think the reason is because a majority of the Call of Duty players are either 13 years old, or they're extremely stoned off their ass, or really drunk. And I just feel like I run into that crowd all the time, and I feel like that crowd is on my team all the time. In an ideal world, everyone would be relatively equal in skill, and every team deathmatch game would come down to like 72-75. But it seems like there's always blowouts, and it seems like there's always just awful kids. And I really don't know how you can be awful in Call of Duty. It's such an easy game. It takes absolutely no skill. You point and shoot. There's no reflexes. There's not really any hand-eye coordination involved. The only thing you need is a mental capacity to hold your breath underwater, or basically an IQ over 70. If you have that and you make some smart decisions, you should be at least decent. You should be at least like able to compete with even decent to good players. And I see people all the time that are not. You'll see this game. I have a kid on my team that goes 2-13. I don't understand how I just don't get how you can go 2-13 and not rage quit or quit the game, period. I have never in my life in any game gone 2-13. Ever. And I feel like if you're doing that bad and you're that bad of a player, it's probably time to just hit the road to maybe like a Madden or some sort of sports game, because first-person shooters obviously are not for you. Or you could even go to like Final Fantasy, which is a turn-based fighting game, and you really can't screw that up. I mean, hand-eye coordination is irrelevant. Intelligence is kind of irrelevant. Obviously, there's some skill involved. But drop a comment and let me know what you think. I mean, I'm just so annoyed with this. This happens all the time. It happens to me at least 3 or 4 times a night. I go off for like 30 kills and just like 5 to 6 deaths, and I lose. Here you see 27-4, and I lose. And I lose by 9 points, no less. Someone on my team went 2-13. Jesus Christ, quit the fucking game.